Hi, my name is Anthony Giandomenico, aka Tony G. I'm a senior security strategist working at Fortinet. And today I'm excited to introduce you to our latest threat actor playbook based on the malware Emotet. Now, Emotet is a banking Trojan. Now, it started out as a banking Trojan, but hold on, I'll come back to how it's morphed into something else. And for a little while, it's kind of been dormant, but in Q3, we saw increased activity, which really what spawned us then to be able to actually kind of create this latest threat actor playbook. So let's dive into the actual playbook itself. So if we look at the intrusion set, we focused in on one campaign. Usually we do multiple campaigns, but in this case, we just actually focused in on one. We had 15 different indicators. Now, this particular threat really didn't exploit any vulnerabilities, but we did identify 12 different attack patterns, which you can see here, and I'll dive into some of those a little bit later on. Now, if we dive into some of the targets now, initially, they were focused in on the financial sectors, but as that morphed, as the malware morphed into something else, it ends up hitting most of the private and public sectors that are out there, today. Now, the reason why they've kind of focused more on not just the financial sectors these days is because the way the actual malware morphed. It morphed into more of a delivery platform, almost like a botnet. Not only was it delivering these banking Trojans or the Emotet banking Trojan, but it was also dropping a lot of other banking Trojans. You had Zeus, you had TrickBot, Iced ID, you had Panda. So they were either banking Trojans or they were malware that was collecting sensitive information. Now, if we move into the tactics and the corresponding techniques that are mapped back to MITRE, you can see that the initial access, we started out with a phishing email, like a lot of the actual threats. The delivery mechanism is a phishing email. In this case, it had a .zip attachment. Now, once that particular user, because the user had to actually execute, had to be able to click that particular attachment. Once they did, spawn PowerShell, which then started downloading some other malware. Now, to establish persistence, it created a new service, put that malicious payload inside that service. So anytime that service then or that machine would start up again, it was set to auto, the service was, so it would automatically start establishing that persistence and surviving any type of reboot. Now, there was a lot of different evasion techniques, but the one I really want to dive into is the email collection. So one of the things that it was doing as it attacked their victim and they were successfully able to compromise that actual victim, they were looking at the emails, stealing the email threads and putting that back up on their command and control infrastructure. What they would do then is spoof an email with your username on there, the display name. Of course, the email was different, right? So they kind of created that phishing email. The destination, that email address happened to be whoever you were corresponding with in that email thread. They would send that off, so when the new victim would get that email, they were more likely to click that attachment because the email had that original email correspondence in there and it looked like it was something you had actually communicated with them before. So you're more apt to be able to actually click that attachment. Now, from a command and control tactic perspective, you were able to do some remote file copy, so they were able to copy some files, and they used a lot of commonly used ports, which is really quite often the case these days. So if you want to learn more about this particular threat actor playbook or any of the other playbooks that we have out there, please visit our website. Oh, until next time, I'm Tony G.